Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're doing great, and I hope you are with those who care about the most. So, we're going to start off one of my favorite things to do out of balloons, superheroes. Now, there's so many great superheroes out there, and trust me, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of them if you like them. I got some special ideas that I would love to do, but superheroes are kind of one of the things that really got me excited about doing balloons because, hey, I'm a geek, and when I'm not doing balloons, one of the things I do to relax is paint. And this is like one of the guys I've painted, and it's Wolverine. Now, I've actually had the pleasure of actually being able to meet the guy who created Wolverine. I got to meet him at a conference where I got to speak right after him. It was really cool. And cool dude. Was a really cool experience and one of those that I won't soon forget. So, with the new Deadpool movie coming out and hearing out that Hugh Jackman will be again playing Wolverine, figured this is a good time to make Wolverine out of balloons. As you can tell, I do like him. So, what I do love about this version is that they're going back to the yellow and blue costume that, well, as an 80s kid, it's kind of the version we saw in the 90s cartoons. And frankly, it was just kind of the version we grew up with. It's very classic. And I'm very glad that they're going back to it. And it's one thing I've always wanted them to do. So let's pull out some balloons here. We're gonna need yellow, we're gonna need some dark blues, need some skin tones here. Let's see. Okay. And what else we're gonna need? Oh, we'll grab some more as we need them. We're gonna of course need the blades. So let's make Wolverine. Now we're gonna start off with the head because I'd like to know what the proportions are that I'm gonna be working with for the rest of the body. And for the head, we're gonna start off with an ear. Now, yes, you can't really see Wolverine's ears, and this is going to make sense when we're done with it. But there is the mask does have connection points here that we're going to need. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a sequence of five. Sorry, sequence of four. I can count. Looks on fine. Work for me. Okay, so one, two, three, four. Two mediums and then two slightly smaller. What this is going to be is the side of the face, the cheeks, cheek, other side of the face. Now, notice that when we have Wolverine here, you kind of see the bottom of his nose and a little bit on top, but you really don't see too much besides from the nose up of his face. So we're going to do the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're now going to grab one of our skin tones, pull it up a little bit, and we're going to actually come on down, do an ear twist. And if we look, it also goes underneath the chin. So we're going to be able to do that too. So I'm going to grab my skin tone. So what we do is got about a two-finger bubble, ear twist. We're going to wrap that around, and I'm going to go up. Not going to do an ear twist. It doesn't need it to be standing out too much. And then right back down same side. And then we're going to go over, and we're going to have this come right underneath. It's going to be our chin cover. And then go back up. Try to make those all the same size here. And back down. And there we go. So what we're going to do now, we're going to bring this back up. And then we're going to squeeze the air out of it. as we bring it to the other side. Okay, so it gives it a little protection there. You'll see how we're going to work with that, the back part. But now we're going to go back up, put a little ear twist right there, and bring it up. There we go. Going to try to get both sides the same here. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have some 160s, and we're going to add some details here. So we do have a little bit showing underneath the nose. So we're just going to go fill that spot in, the 160 that's really soft. Because what we're going to do is we want to make sure that's not like a full thickness, and that way it looks kind of like it's just a little bit showing, but not a total amount. Okay, let's get that going through there. There we go. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up our balloon a little bit. We don't need this piece right now, and we don't need that 160 anymore right there. And that 260 blue we don't need right now. So we're going to grab another blue, and we're going to do another four bubble sequence. This one's about three, uh, about two and a half, two and a half, and then three. And we're going to lock that around the ear. Okay, so notice that it doesn't go all the way up, it just goes a little bit. So we're actually going to be bringing that down. So we're going to take a little garbage piece of blue balloon, and that's going to be our nose. And we're going to bring those four bubbles so they meet in the middle, and there we go. Now, it might be a little hard to figure out where we're going with everything right now, so let's add some white, because that will help you figure out and keep track of where everything is. And these are going to be the eyes. Okay? And let's see here. Let's add some teeth also to him. We don't need much hair, just a little puff. We're going to wrap that around right underneath the cheek and tuck it in nice and secure. And we're going to make a whole bunch of little bubbles. Tiny bubbles. You don't want me singing. Going to lock that into place there. Go down and go back up. Make some more tiny bubbles. And maneuver things around a little bit here. My nose just ran away. I hate running noses. They just go everywhere. All right. Okay. Oh, fierce Wolverine here. So let's keep working on it. Now, if I want, I might add a little bit of red behind that all. Let's actually add a red 260. So it looks like we got a little tongue and mouth action. There we go. Just a little bit. Now, I will say this. If you don't want to add the teeth, another easy solution, just take your extra 160, and now you have your lips. See? We'll see how this all looks, and we might go back to the lips. So, okay, now we're going to take our blue here, that's in the back, and we're going to ear twist it and fill in these gaps a little bit. Because in a moment, we're going to shoot off and make the earpieces. But first, we got to add some yellow. Okay, there we go. And by doing that also, I kind of give a little bit of personality also by making some smaller ones there. They're not eyebrows, but they kind of have that look overall. Break that off. Now, let's fill in this whole area with the yellow. And pretty much what this is going to be is almost playing a game of connect the dots. So we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to do a cross section back here. One, this kind of pushes things apart, but also fills in the blank spot. So you see how I have the section here? 1 and 2, there's a little bubble spot. I'm going to then do another one just like that across it, and that fills in the back of the head nicely. So I'm now going to go up to the nose, back up, and down. And I'm going to put those eyes back where they were. Put all the bubbles where they need to go. And there we have it. So we're going to just lock that in, bring that down. That's going to actually help our neck stay in place when we make the neck. And there we go. Now, let's add the blue. So, let's see what we got so far. And you know what? Those teeth, though I like them, I think they're looking a little too scary. So let's just put in those lips. We're just going to wrap everything around. Looks nice and secure. And everything is nice and tight. Okay, balloons you can be nice and rough with. And they're pretty sting sparable until they pop. There we go. Move everything around a little bit. There we go. And let's get that blue balloon. So we're going to just, again, attach it right to where that ear joint was. And by doing that, it gives us a place to make a cool angle, just like that. Okay. But we're going to fill in that yellow spot. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take that behind the head. I'm going to squish all the air out of it as I do it, so it's not noticeable. And I'm going to mash that up to the other side. And again, cover up that yellow. There we go. We got Wolverine's traditional yellow and blue mask. And let's add a little spots for the eyes. Okay. Let's make these roughly the same size. There we go. And there we go. So now we can make the body since we know what our proportions are. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is start off with the yellow, since that's the main color of the costume. And we're actually going to start with the legs. Now, he does have high boots, so we're not going to have to go too long with the legs. But we're going to do 2 ear twists on both sides. And this is what our boots are going to be connected to. So let's add our blue for the boots. Now for these, let's do a big tulip twist with an ear twist. So we have that little point right in there. We're going to twist those right into our ear twist. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. There we go. I like doing the boots on this size hero that way. There's a lot of different ways, and we're going to cover a whole bunch of different shoes and boots and ways to do hands and all that as we go on. But right now, I kind of think that just gives a nice little boot shape with a little upturn right at the toes. Then we're going to lock that into the other one. And now, if you've only seen the movies, you might think that Wolverine is tall. But in the comic books, he's not that tall at all. I want to say he's like 5'5", 5'6", something like that. He's actually pretty short for a superhero. So you don't need to make him really tall. Now what we're doing here is we're just kind of adding the rest of the legs, and we're going to cross them over to give us a waist. Okay? So kind of see where we're going proportion-wise. So I'm going to go up to where the shoulder blade is. Now, this one's done a little bit differently because, well, we don't have yellow also for the arms. He usually shows his arms. Now, I think in the new movie, though, it's covered, at least for a portion of it. So we're going to do it kind of the traditional comic book way. Now, he's a superhero. And unless it's fat Thor, most of them have six packs. Let me show you a little way of doing a six pack here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a cross section, bring those two balloons across. Okay. Now we're going to make two bubbles here, same size. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these. We're going to pull it up, twist it around itself a couple times, and then pull it back down. And what this does is it kind of gives it that ab shape. So we're going to do that again. Make sure our bubbles are about the same size here. Again, take one of those, pull it down, twist it a few times, and then pull it back up nice and tight. And hey, so one more time. We'll do these a little bit smaller. There we go. And one more time, it's going down and then back up after round a few times. And there we go. So we're going to actually lock those right into the hip joints. Okay. And then we're going to go back up on the sides. And there we go. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just let that set for a second, and we're going to get the arms ready. So now you can see he has blue gloves, kind of like he has his blue boots. And again, if I didn't have a miniature around, I would just go on Google and look at pictures. But since I have it and it's right here, might as well use it. So we're actually not going to do the ear twist on this one. We're going to actually do the ear twist on the blue one. Now to make the hands, because we're going to need spots for those claws to go, can't forget the claws, we're going to make 5 bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And starting at our last bubble, we're going to ear twist it. Okay? Just a couple times around. Then we're going to take the next one. And we're going to ear twist both of them a couple times. Then we're going to take our third and ear twist all 3 of them. And our fourth. And we're going to leave our fifth one just standing there. And what that does is it actually pulls the balloon down through the center there. Okay? So if you look carefully, you can see kind of how it's split. But what that does, and I like it this way, because it kind of gives it a natural curve of where the fist would be. And then I'm just going to get that stationed to where I want it. Give a little bubble here. Kind of acts as the palm. Do that on both sides. And then bring it back around. And that makes our fist. So now we need to take so what we're going to do here is we're going to grab a 160 and we're going to make some little cuts. Doesn't have to be big, just about 1.5 inches. We're going to do a total of 6 of those. And there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to twist them around 3 of our knuckle joints. And there we go. So we're going to bring that now. We're going to do a little double ear twist. and wrap our skin tone right into it. We can tear off that piece. And we're going to do that one more time here. So let's do that. Now, here's some little trivia about Wolverine you may or may not know. Do you know Wolverine's real name? Give me a second to think about it. If you said Logan, you're kind of correct. Logan is the name that he goes by, but that's not the name he was born with. The name he was born with is actually James Howlett. Little trivia for you to throw out if you're ever making a Wolverine for a kid. And when he's with Colossus, who is made of living steel, do you know what it's called when he gets thrown? It's called a fastball special. So we're going to just add our claws here. There we go. And we're going to get another skin tone here. Whoops, wrong one. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the right one here. Oh, I have a couple different skin tones, and sometimes they get confused with each other. There we go. And by skin tone, I actually mean blush. Unfortunately, we don't have enough skin tones. I wish we did. So we're going to do our upper arms. And we're going to actually twist those right in to the shoulder blades. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing with the other side. There we go. And we're going to take a blue balloon, and we're going to add some of those classic highlights. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the belt and kind of, I guess you would call the swimsuit bottoms. The classic superhero underwear on the outside of the costume that they all seem to have for a while. Cross that over. I'm going to do a smaller bubble right in the middle there and bring that all together. There we go. Lock all those ear twists together here. Okay, see where we're going? Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add, I like having a little blue stripe on the side. Some costumes have it, some don't. But I think it gives a cool little variation to the color. Plus it fills them out a little bit. So we're going to add that. Now we're going to cover the shoulder blades up a little bit. And this is just a little full twist that's going around. And we're just going to lock that into place around the arm with a little ear twist at the base. We're going to put the big balloon around our ear twist. Okay? Alrighty. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And start out here at the hip. And just like that, we're almost done. Now again, we can do similar versions. And we'll do some of those as we go on more we're going to do all types of superheroes if y'all like them. But this is one that I like, kind of a detailed version, and definitely looks like the character. Now, I will say this: there's a couple companies out there that make imprints, balloons that already have designs on them, and there are some that are superheroes. And I think there might be a Wolverine. I know there's like an Iron Man and Thor and a Hulk face, so you don't need to go that detailed if you don't want to. But when I'm working a comic book convention or something like that, I actually have people waiting a long time in the line because they want the detailed ones. Again, you got to know your audience, you got to know what they want, and you got to know what you can do. So I'm going to actually take the neck piece here, and I'm going to actually loop it through the bottom and take that knot and just lock it right in position back there. Lost my knot. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to then just do a little bubble here and do 2 ear twists. And this is actually going to go right into the area between my shoulder blades. I'm actually going to take out the rest of the air, like keep a little something so I can hang on to. Got to pop those right between. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, because I want to seal this up just a little bit more, I'm going to grab a piece of yellow, fill in the back. Now that I kind of got everything in place, so I'm just going to go in there and do a nice big fold. And just tuck that right in there. And again, connect it right to the hip and the leg area. That kind of hides a lot of my little spots. Going to move things around just a little bit. Move his head forward. And yeah, that is Wolverine. Let's position everything the right way here. Tuck away some of our pieces. And yeah, well, I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun. I'm just going to cover a couple spots here that it looks like we might have had a little balloon deflate. So cover that section up. Make sure that all our knots are hidden. There we go. Fill that section up. There we go. Back underneath that chin, chin, and fill up the area over here. And there we go. So, well, hope you had some fun. And remember, smile is free. Thank you only takes a moment, but an encouraging word at the right time can change your life forever. And until next time, keep on twisting and adios.